But that's what be making it
Sir, we
unscripted.
live.
Yeah, that's what make it unscripted.
Oh my gosh. Hey y'all. Hey.
Hey
Welcome to
everybody,
an unscripted beautiful life. I am Katrina.
and Andre, and we got another special guest
We
with
got some
us.
more guests. Our
Yeah,
guests are back.
yes they are.
The guests are back. Team Childs of I'm about to say of Team Child. Team Childs of Team Childs.
Look, say Tiffany and Rick of Team Childs of the Team Childs.
Do y'all want to y'all do y'all? I'm Tiff. I'm Rick, and we're Team
They
Absolutely.
have
Childs.
to. They have to.
Absolutely.
That's
You
why
already
last
know.
week we had one.
You
Nah, ours
already
just
Nah,
know.
different
that
every
ain't what
time.
she was saying. She was talking about the little intro video. Now go ahead and do y'all thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's
Right.
let's jazz it up. You ready?
Yeah.
Hold on.
What are you
Uh,
trying to do?
oh,
I
I'm
don't
just,
know. We see it.
it's like you follow my lead. I'm Rick,
And I'm Tiff.
and we're Team Childs.
Come on, Team Childs. Listen, we had such a good time last Tuesday, and we are in preparation mode for the stay. I'm just gonna say staycation. That's
Uh,
happening the weekend or week starting September 19th. We'll give y'all all those details, but we had such a good time. And we wanted to talk about um how important if or whether it matters as a couple to have other couples that you are in relationships with, right? Because we all know, as singles, you got your girlfriend, you got your go-tos and things of that nature. But when you get married, there's dynamics that start changing. And so, is it beneficial to have other couples that you can do double nights with other couples that you can, hey, we need to have a Jigglypuffs because Jigglypuffs ain't working, so we need to have some mediators, sitting on the couch with us to work through some things. So how important is it?
First thing is you got to make sure. This is just me
You
speaking.
need to.
I feel as though y'all have to be connected in a way to where no matter what's said, it stays within y'all four, y'all six, no matter what it is. That um
It's trust.
right, because
Mhm.
as me and Trina was talking about it earlier, it's like sometimes couples get burnt by other couples, and then all of us grew up what happens in the house stays in the house type of thing. So it's important that I'll tell Trina, I tell her this all the time. I say thank you for opening me up to these marriage conferences and things like that, because you see someone that looks exactly like you. They could be a little bit older, they could be a little bit younger, they could have 30 years of marriage, they could have 5 years of marriage, they could just got married, and they going through the same thing that you going through. So it's like we think that we in this marriage alone. Nah, it's it's that what goes stays in the house, what goes on in the house stays in the house, that kind of messes up, that could possibly mess up marriages, and not having someone that you can confide with to say, man, I'm going through this, and then stay right there within y'all, and y'all can help each other get through that.
I think that's a really good point that you made, because I think because of that mentality, what goes on in this house stays in this house. That prevents a lot of times for couples to create that trust with other
Mm-hmm.
people. To say, well, if we really tell them, hey, we fighting over here, then we think, okay, they're going to
They gonna
judge
might
us.
judge us, yeah.
But then to attend the marriage retreats and know, like, oh, I'm not the only crazy couple. Like, we fight like everybody else fight. And to be able to know, like, hey, can y'all help us recover? Give us viewpoints, and like, it's really important to like have a couple that you can trust, but that also is going to be like, hey, Trina, you was wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
And this, like, that can pull my card
yep.
and say, listen, you was wrong in this area, or you shouldn't say. That can like really be neutral,
Mm-hmm.
but also say, hey, y'all was wrong in this, so y'all, whatever. So
They turn.
they turn.
Yeah, they turn.
Yeah. Ladies
No,
first.
no, no. You
Oh,
got
you want
this.
me to
Go
go
ahead.
first? Oh, well, I agree 1000%. And I believe it's so important to have couples that I know as husband and wife, you're supposed to be equally yoked, but I believe couples should be equally yoked in some kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
form or fashion where they
Yeah.
connect, and to be able to feed into each other's blind spots when they see certain things may come up. And I know, because we'll just speak from experience.
That's it.
When we traveled together, y'all saw us. Y'all was our referee. Y'all was our flight referee. Y'all was blowing the whistle on us, and it was so important. The thing is, we didn't take it personal. You know, y'all saw where we needed it, and we accepted it, and it was so great because I know as far as when it comes to, like you said, couples connecting, you have to have a certain amount of trust there to be able to do that. And like Andre said, you have marriage retreats that you go to where you'll see that there's like people that's been married 50 years and they probably ain't even still sleeping in the same room, but you know what I mean, but they're making it work.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to be able to come around couples that we're not going to front around y'all, we're not going to act like everything is peachy keen. To be honest with you, if Tiff don't mind, earlier we was beefing to the point that I had to go to the secret weapon. You see, I had to pull the secret weapon out. I already knew when I came in the house.
Hey, you was ready.
It's gonna be. So I had to bring the secret weapon out, and she smiled, and we were good. Because if not, this would be a whole different conversation right now.
But the interesting thing about that, for real, honestly, I wasn't beefing at all.
Yeah.
I was calm, cool, and collected.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a sensitive topic that we touched on, and as I was sharing, I could tell it was kind of like triggering him, but I was really grateful that he sat in it and didn't get upset. He didn't, because we weren't in the same room actually. We were on the cell phone talking, and he didn't get off the phone very fast like he could have, and all of the things like that was huge because way back when, well, not too long ago, like he would have shut down,
Yeah.
and I had to tell him I was very proud of him, but I really believe that him allowing himself to be vulnerable even after the damage that I've done in previous years, it's a testament to when you do the work, it yields dividends. So like I shared last week, like I did a lot of damage early on in our marriage where I was very disrespectful to him in my talking to him. I was very, very disrespectful in his face, like all the things, just all of that, and yeah, like all of that. And I caused him to not want to be vulnerable around me. And just to see him on the other side of it, lets me know that, forgiveness and healing is a really big, big thing. And that's something Alicia and Mike was talking about last week, about the importance of forgiveness and doing the forgiveness work. But back to the couples, like just finding your people that you can share similar experiences with, be vulnerable with, be open and honest with, like, and just really getting to know each individual friend, coupleship, and just building upon that, like just creating a really safe space in a foundation, area, and just really kind of growing. And it's very important that you treat those relationships with care. With, and
They're hard to come by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of you all mentioned, being vulnerable. I think that's key. in any relationship, but more importantly within a marriage, because I mean you have two people trying to become one, right? And so you're trying to figure out like how can I allow this other person to see all of the parts of me and like truly, I mean like really see
So
all the parts of
hold
me,
on.
not go.
It go back to that negative and not being afraid. That's what it go back to
So,
that.
Yes,
right.
That being
absolutely.
vulnerable,
It's
honestly.
yeah, it is that because I think, you're with your spouse all day long, every day. And so they get to see the parts of you that the world doesn't see, right? So the world gets to see what we want them to see, the mask, right? But at home, ain't no cut cards. Like you get to
Take that
see if
mask
I'm
down.
throwing stuff all on the floor, he leaving the toilet seat up, like all of the different
My
parts.
toothpaste from the middle. I don't do that no more, y'all. Cause and it's so funny. I'm
You got
so
past that, Dre.
intentional. I'm so past it now. I'm so intentional from squeezing from the bottom now, y'all. Y'all don't
Uh,
even understand. Like,
But
yeah.
That's important though.
yeah,
that
That
is, but
is so important.
yep.
It
yeah,
may
hey,
seem small,
right,
but
right.
just the
That's
blow
all
up
it
that
is.
you squeezing the toothpaste wrong or leaving splatter marks on the window after you done cleaned the bathroom
Oh, you
real
laying
good.
on my side of the bed all the time. King, super king size bed.
but see, that's that spiritual and marital growth. That
Yeah.
if you want to be intentional on making your marriage work, you will make it work. I remember saying this when the guy when we were at our retreat, not our retreat, but a retreat that we went to, and the gentleman said, "Man, I ain't signed up for this job." He's like, "Man, when I put my application down, I ain't signed up for this job," and I was like, we got to stop looking at our marriage as a job because we don't invest in jobs. We invest in careers. We invest in businesses that we start, that we create. And when you do that, you'll change your perspective of your marriage. Man, I want this to work. So like you want your career to work, like you want your business to work. So you're going to invest in it. So you will invest in your marriage like you would do a business that you created or a career that you want to pursue and continue to grow in. So yeah, that's that spiritual and marital growth is amazing.
Oh yeah.
But
And
if
just
go ahead, Rick.
oh no, and I was just gonna say, doing it together, doing uh life together with other couples that connect in a way. Like I know for us going to the marriage retreat that we went to and just experiencing that all together and hearing, like I said, different couples, seeing different couples, the men get together and they're, sharing their experiences and they're talking, the wives are doing the same thing. And then you come together and there's different ranges, 5 years, maybe 20 years, 30,
Yeah.
40, 50 years. And what you hear is a lot of the same similar things. And you think, I guess in when you're going through whatever you're going through, you think you're the only ones going through it, but everybody has their challenges. And you
Yeah.
get to see that with other couples, and it helps us to be able to see somebody else as far as how they flow. And it allows us to understand that, hey, what we're doing, keep on doing it, and understand that it's always going to be work. But as long as you got good people in your corner, again, like I said, it's going to speak into you. It's going to show you. I mean, there's things sometimes that happen that they don't even have to say anything to you. You just see how people are, and then that allows you to be able to experience that.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that, especially when there's so many different types of, especially different
Mhm.
ranges of ages of marriages in a room because everyone brings something to the table.
Mhm.
Um, I'm the type of person that believe that you can really learn something from anybody. I
Yes.
have heard people say, well, she's too young, he's too young. They haven't even lived life yet. But even if you haven't experienced some things, I believe a person can still have wisdom, like just kind of looking and watching and learning.
Mhm.
Like you don't have to have got like you don't have to touch the stove in order to get burned. You can see other people getting burned and be like, yeah, I have enough smarts not to put my finger on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so, you know, like, I love the fact that everybody brings something to the table and that, you know, really nothing is off limits as far as, you know, different things people go through. Like, you can always gain knowledge from others.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask y'all this, because we all know the importance of staying connected to other couples, but what do you do in situations where um you don't have a community of other couples that you can go to, right? Like, we, you know, marriage retreats happen, well, once a year, you know, different, you can try and find different things, but if you don't have other couples that are um you know, willing to, or as, or that are as open, let me say that, to wanting to create that marriage community with you, so that, hey, y'all, listen, listen, Tiff, I need to talk. Like, can we come up? Like, if you don't have that, how do you work through that? That's a hard thing, because it could be
People just don't have that trust in people to do it.
right.
You
But
know.
let's say, this isn't us, but I'm just saying, let's, that I'm willing. So let's call Tiff and Rick.
Right.
But you like, nah, they don't need to be all up in our business. Like, how do you maneuver through that piece of it? Because that adds a whole nother dynamic. It's like one person wants help, but the other is, because either they've been burned or still in that, what happens in this house stays in this house, and I don't need nobody else to tell me how to run my marriage. Da 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 da. They're not open.
Only thing that I can say is, as if this was me and you in the situation, for you not to do it behind and like in closed doors, but to try to get me. I'm just saying us, taking this us as an example, to try to get me to understand it how important it is to have someone else.
That's good.
You know, to like let they could be going through the same thing we're going through. Like, let's just hear them out. Let's just hear what they got to say. And then do it like, let's do it as a date night first, you know, a double date, and then slowly work into it, you know, slowly work in conversations on, hey man, guess what happened between me and Trina, and see where that goes. You know, it's not one of the things I always look at, is that you can't force something on somebody else. Let's just take a drug addict, for example, alcoholic. Only way you can get that person to make that change is to see that they have that problem. So I feel like that's anything in life. No one is willing to change unless they see for themselves that there's an issue. So if you see that there's an issue, then okay, like, all right, what's the first steps that we could take? Then what's the second steps? Like you bake a cake, is it steps into it. We can't just go straight to the cake. We gotta put them ingredients in a certain time and certain things like that. Is, I guess it's a process, you know.
Yeah, I think it's what you're saying too. That, you know, they have to see it, but I think they also have to have a reason to
So yeah,
want to do it. Like, the spouse has to
investing.
invest, not
Yeah,
even invest, but like communicate to their spouse, hey, this is why it's
yeah,
important for
yeah.
me
Okay.
to you know, can you just hear me out for a second? Let me tell you why I want to connect with somebody else, because we
Yeah,
still bumping heads,
yeah,
jiggly puffs ain't working, you know, blah blah blah, like all of
yeah.
those different things. So
Yeah. So, so one of the things, I know what you were asking. So, how do you get to that place? So, I think for us, what we've been doing, and we actually just did this recently. Friday, we did a newlywed game, interactive newlywed game. So, getting together with other couples in environments like that allow you to be able to see, and interact with folks. And if you can do that on a consistent basis, then you kind of build that relationship from there, because you're not going to just come in the door saying, hey, I want to drop this on you, because some things, you know what I mean, you don't know how a person will take it. So
Uh-huh.
you got to build that relationship up through interactive, hanging out, doing different activities that may come, or inviting folks to something that you think they might be interested in. And then you just kind of connect that way. And then you'll see, how if the, and, if those are the couples or persons that you can, confine it. Because I know for me, if I get to a place where I need to have someone listen or tell me, hey, Rick, you in the wrong, I could call Dre or I could call Mike. I could call some other people that I feel comfortable with to do that. And me say like, hey, Tips over here tripping. So I gotta, tell me, am I right or is she wrong? Let me know so that it's not a thing that even if you tell me I'm wrong, I'm going to accept that because I'm reaching out to you and I feel comfortable enough to do that. But you can only do that once you get to a certain place of interaction with folks.
Right.
What if I tell you you're wrong?
I ain't gonna listen to you. That's what I'm calling Dre.
So you gotta reach out. That's what I say. That old thing to say, don't I got a phone call?
Nah.
Let me make that phone call. But yeah, no, it's so important. And it's a lot of, I guess you could say, stereotypical things that we kind of gotta break, so that way we could continue to grow and prosper in our marriages. Um, just being able to effectively communicate with another couple, it's eye opening to say, oh wow, I'm not doing this alone. Like, we're not really in this alone. It's somebody that we can really reach out to, and it has helped us out tremendously. Just being able to have that feeling, because a lot of people, like, they may think that they don't have nobody, but they really truly do. It's a lot of people out here that are still genuinely great couples, great people, and they want to see other couples succeed. They want to see them grow. It's just, I guess, that what's the trust? The trust got to be there. Like, because most people don't like to be vulnerable in front of other people.
Yeah, especially if they don't know the person. And you and Trina really hit the nail on the head. Dre, you actually mentioned, baby steps and taking small steps. That's important too, because most people aren't going to be like, hey, this is us, and they're just putting it out there. They may come around and just kind of try to fill you out and all of the things. Like, if the bottom line is, if you don't feel comfortable around someone, you are not going to share.
Yeah.
Like, you know, women will say, my husband won't talk to me. He won't have a conversation, but he goes to the barbershop, he can't shut up. Or he with his boys, he can't shut up because he feels comfortable. And, creating spaces where people feel comfortable, not just between each other, but just other people in your presence. That is so important as well. And then, Trina, you mentioned, I'm sorry, it was baby steps. And then the main thing, the point you were saying was, do you remember? I'm sorry, refresh my memory, please.
What did I? Oh, I was just asking a question about what if you don't have the support. I don't know now.
It was trust and
The
somebody.
vulnerability.
Well, with the trust comes the vulnerability, but it was. I lost my train of thought, y'all.
It's all right.
Now,
This what that unscripted do. Yeah, this is
I
what
love the
unscripted
unscripted. I
do.
love it.
Yeah. But it's one of the things where you could just jump back into it, because then it hits you. This is how we end up jumping from subject to subject.
Yeah.
Because I might be saying something like, oh, but I forgot to tell you this 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this question,
Uh-oh.
because
Uh-oh.
I'm t- because I know that, okay, that we have our circle of friends consists of other couples, but then also as singles, right? Are you as open to receiving support, advice from someone that's single as you are to another married couple? Like, can a single person come in and tell you, hey, Tiff, you was wrong?
Absolutely, they can. Because um, I'm the type of person that every night I always evaluate my day. So somebody can be like, Tiffany, you was very disrespectful to your, co-worker this or supervisor that. I'm not going to be like, no, I wasn't. I didn't come across like that, because I could have come across like that. So in my time before I rest my head, I'm like, God, is there any truth in what was said to me? Because I'm not a perfect person, and I need to be corrected on most days. So I'm not so heady and high minded to be like, oh, I can't gain anything from you, or because you're single, you can't pour into me, because I have had my niece pour into me as a little child about different things, so you can receive something from anybody.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's what I
Yeah.
want, because I definitely think that I've heard, well, I can't take nothing because she ain't married. Like, she ain't gonna
She
know.
ain't never been through
But I
this.
also know, people were married at one point, divorced, now they're single,
Been
or
around people
have
that's
been around
married.
people that's single. Like, I saw a post and it was asking about, um can a pastor be single and still minister to his church knowing it's filled with couples? Like, there was what's Kirk Franklin was talking about it. He was on the show. What's the football player?
He was the joint with Cam Newton. I
Yes.
didn't get to watch
And
the
he
whole
was
thing,
talking
but
about
y'all should watch it.
he was talking about how, like, there's that stigma in the church that the pastor has to be married in order to have the impact. And that could be so, like, I have so many, I know women who are in the ministry of helping other women get married, prepare for marriages, and she's single or he's single. Like, I don't think that should matter. Is like what you said. If that person got a word from God for me, I don't care whether you're single or not. Like, I mean, I'm married or not, but give me the word. I don't Positions and titles don't matter to me. And I think that's I think people have to get over that. Go
When
ahead.
Jesus or Yahshua walked this earth, did he have great impact?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
And
There you go.
I remember having these conversations, and you can't force your will on somebody because he didn't force his will. He said, I'll give you the words, you can come with, or you can go astray. It's on you. And that's why I love that we are here and we have that free will. So you have free will to make the choice of um even in I'm big on this. Even if someone is not, that was divorced, right? Why couldn't you take great examples from that person? They were divorced. They could tell you some things not to do
Yeah.
so that you don't end up in that situation. You know what I mean? Because marriage is something, it's not to be played with. And it's played with too much now. Like, people want to have the biggest wedding. For what? What is that what your marriage is about? Is it about the wedding, or is it about you trying to get better in your marriage every day? Like, what is it for? So I always tell people this: you made a covenant under God. You made that covenant. So only person that can judge you in that marriage is him, and only him. Of I don't him, her, however we want to call it, but you can. That's the only person that could judge you in that marriage.
I can't get no refund.
No, stuck with me forever now. It's
Like, hold on. Dad will always
tell death
listen.
do us
My
part.
father-in-law, my father would be like, he your problem now.
Yeah.
Like,
You said I do.
You said I do.
You
Like,
said,
that he your problem
yeah.
now.
I had her for what we got married for 27. I had her for 27. It's on you, baby.
That receipt done faded.
Refunds at this point.
Expiration date, nothing.
That's what I tell Tiff dad all the time when I see him. I said, I still got the receipt. I can return it.
Nah, sir. You
Nah,
locked in.
sir.
Yeah.
Y'all obviously got
Click
torn up.
clack. We stuck.
That chain and ball.
But
Oh, yeah.
I mean it's a difficult thing trying to bring one personality to become kind of one together. But it can be done if you're willing to work on it. You gotta be willing to work on it. Because it's easy just to walk out. It's easy to walk out. That's the easy way. Man, I'm done with this, man. I don't even want to work on it. I can leave. But just remember you made that covenant.
I think
So
I
it might not
think
be easy for you afterwards.
yeah, I think that's the thing. I think people think that it's easier to like sew into a job than it is into a marriage, right? Like you going I think you put up more for your job than you
You
will
do
for
in your
your
wife. Yep.
marriage.
Yep.
And I think that's where people get it wrong because it is the covenant. Because of that covenant, we're supposed to be able to work it out no matter
No
what.
matter what.
Um
Because most of us in the job, honestly, when you're not getting paid what you worth. So why not put that much energy into your wife where she can pour that back into you?
You better say that, Dre.
You
Yeah.
know?
And you know what? And that's where Team Child's materialized, because the fact that we weren't operating in our marriage the way that we should have been. And we had to come together as a team, and that's the reason we started calling ourselves Team Childs, because we were there, because there is an I in marriage, but there's no I in team. And we weren't, we were looking at it from the perspective of other people, as far as how they may look at their marriage and say each individual within that marriage, man or woman, is, they have a specific role or they have a specific position. And for us, it was like, it just wasn't flowing. It just wasn't coming together. So changing that and saying, look, we're a team, and team for us is teach, empower, assist, and motivate. And what we had to understand was there'll be times where Tiff has to lead in whatever we're doing, or I'm a lead in whatever we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We come together. And when you take that concept of a team, then you know the strengths and weaknesses of your teammate. And you say, okay, are they better in this position? So then they can lead and pull in that place. So that's where that came from. And that's why we operate. So just the same way we do, I'm Rick, I'm Tiff.
Mm-hmm.
We're in unison because we're coming together as a team. And we have to remind ourselves each and every day we're married, but we're also teammates.
Yeah, and it's so funny because most of us might have played a team sport, and I just will never forget the acronym that we had. It says "Together, everyone achieves more." So if you take that same acronym in your marriage or in anything, even at a workplace, if y'all take that, if we do this together, all of us can achieve more. So that always stuck in my head, but I never really thought that until y'all came up with the Team Childs. I was just seeing it. I was like, dang, they have an acronym for that. But the acronym from when we played team sports was together, everyone achieves more. But that can be the same thing in your marriage as well. Because because we, again, if you have kids, we the two coaches and we got a team behind us. So if they see that we together, they're going to achieve more because they see that we together. So then whenever they decide to get married, they have a structure already kind of set in place already. So
And
man,
that's interesting, Dre. You should talk about, the team mentality. Like, I have been on jobs and it's very hectic. Like, people like pulling their hair out and all of the things. And I'm just so at peace. And they was like, how can you even work in this space and not let it overtake you? And I'm like, I'm just one person.
That's it. I can
And
only
I
do
have
my
two
job.
hands. All I can do is what I can do. But when I clock in, I'm pleasing God. I'm not pleasing my supervisor or anybody else. In that way, I can show up and give 1,000%. I'm not complaining about what's not getting done. It could be trash on the floor. I'm gonna pick the trash out, even if nobody else is doing it. You know, if I see something, I'm gonna fill in because in my mind, I'm like, what would God want me to do in this situation?
Yep.
You know, so that's the same kind of concept that I've brought over to my marriage, and that's why when I open my eyes every morning, I have a duty to give him 1,000%. After I am selfish though, because I have to show up for me first
That part.
before I can pour into anybody else,
That's
my
not
husband,
selfish.
my children, all of the things, huh?
That's not selfish.
Oh,
That's life.
a lot of people say that it's selfish.
Now, all right. So think of it
A
like
lot of
this,
people
right?
say that it's
How
selfish.
could you? How could you? Because it's remember with the half glass full type of thing. How can you pour into somebody else if you ain't pour nothing into yourself? You
You
ain't got nothing to pour from.
you be
You know,
surprised.
you got a whole empty glass. You got a whole empty jar.
But
You know,
I think that's where um there is a stigma that self-care, putting me first, is viewed as being selfish because people don't look at it from the aspect of, well, if I don't give to me, I can't, I'm pouring from an empty cup. And I don't, I think,
what you got to pour.
but
You know,
that's the problem. That's where it's important to change the
yeah.
narrative surrounded by that. And
Mhm.
that's why, like, hello, my name is beautiful, exists in the self-care-cation, because it's understanding that I can't give more to my spouse, to my children, to my job than I'm giving to myself. And so get like it's something so simple as getting up 5 minutes earlier and just sitting in quiet and writing or praying, or doing something to get your mind right before the day starts.
Now I can
Mhm.
see because that right there don't cost anything.
Mm-mm.
That all that did was cost you some time.
Time.
Now
Yep.
I can see where someone's like, oh, I'm gonna go get my hair done. I'm gonna go get my nails done. I'm gonna go do all these things. That I can probably deem that as being selfish. But if you're doing something to grow, and it's growth there, like you do it for growth, right? You're not doing it just because. Now,
Yeah, but
now think of a material. I'm just thinking materialistic.
not even just the materialistic piece of it. If I'm saying I need to give myself 5 minutes, if you look at your to-do list, do you really have 5 minutes? Right? Because you think about everything that has to get done. So I got to get the breakfast cake for the kids. I got to wake them up. Do all of those. Like the list goes on and on. And so then you're like, I don't have 5 minutes for myself. But that's where I think we have to do a better job at evaluating what we put on our plates to say, okay, does it matter at this moment that the laundry get washed, or can I take that 5 minutes that would it have taken for me to load the washer to really just sit down and
Give
cry,
yourself
or
five,
sit
five
down and
minutes.
do something, like hide out in the bathroom if we have to, like,
I don't
listen.
see it selfish, y'all.
When the kids was little, how many times have we hid in the bathroom because we like, I just need 5 minutes, and then you got the little hands reaching up under the door
And I'm
because
stepping on them little fingers too. Say,
like they
Get the
don't
fingers out of
understand
here.
nothing. Like,
I'm
okay,
sucking them little fingers.
you coming home and they like, mommy, daddy, da, 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 da. Like they just going nonstop. And it's important for us to not only put self-care for like be examples of what we need, but also introduce that to them.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that
yeah.
when they're older, listen, I need 5 minutes. I just got in from the day. Give me a moment. Like
Yeah.
when the kids come home from school, okay, y'all need to start your homework. Let them have 10, whatever time to decompress.
And not just telling them, but just leading by example. So
Family,
Yeah.
if
yeah.
they see you doing that, like, spend that family time, like, hey, we all just gonna sit here and we gonna pray and meditate. Like,
Yeah.
we gonna sit on the couch, like just kind of showing those practices so that they can build their own is so important and so key. And I'm gonna call bull that you don't have 5 minutes, you don't have the 10 minutes, and you don't.
Same.
So,
Yeah.
and I say that because people will always, if if it's important to them, they're going to make the time.
Yeah.
And I'm important to myself before anybody else. I'm important to myself before my husband and my children and everybody else trickling behind. I have to like that's something that I do not. That's a non-negotiable for me.
So
Because if I'm not good, I'm telling you, like I can't give like I'm properly supposed to. If I'm working all of these hours at my job, that's taken away from my home life. That's taken away from time with my child. That's taken away from time with my husband, my job, my business, my quality time. Like something will go lacking. Like there is a thing called harmony. It really is. And it's obtainable. Like anytime I'm in a room and you're talking about self, that is why I am such an advocate for self-care. And self-care bleeds into every area of our life. Self-care bleeds into our finances, our physical, our spiritual, our mental, emotional, and all of the 8 areas Katrina shared last week. Like all of that is important. And all of that has a place. And we have a responsibility to put everything in its proper place. So no more making excuses unless you just want to continue to make
right.
So I wanna challenge everyone. We did this. This was one of the exercises in the no more excuses in sense of that if you're on here and won't necessarily openly admit that you don't have 5 minutes for yourself, I want you to track everything that you do for the day. Every time you pick up your phone, every time you scrolling and checking email, like write it all down. And at the end of the day, or track it for a couple days. And at the end of the day, look at that list and look and see what activities on there or what mindless things were you doing that could have been 5 minutes for yourself. Like how many times we sit up here and scroll on social media looking for somebody update or somebody's YouTube video when if you add it all up, that 5 or 10 minutes that it's actually probably more than that. Like
It's way
your
more than
phone
that.
gives
We
you
know that.
updates like,
it's
hey,
like
your
hours.
it tells you.
I
And so if you're on here saying that you don't have 5 minutes for yourself, like Tiffany said, I'm calling bull because there is 5 minutes on your list of things that you're doing that could be cut out if we just prioritize and understand how it's important to put ourselves first.
Yeah.
so go ahead, Rick.
Oh no, I was gonna say, um,
Oh, this is good.
when we talking about 5 minutes, so I'm supposed to when I walk through the door,
There you go.
yeah, because I'm sitting there listening, and this didn't come from me. This came from
For my therapist.
our therapist. That Rick should have 15 minutes when he come in the house to decompress, not daddy, honey, 1,000 times before I even get up the steps. I'm supposed to get 15 minutes. Now I'm hearing 5 minutes.
No, wait a minute.
I'm supposed to get 15 minutes. And I think this, and I was told this like several years ago. I'm still,
So Rick is the exception to the rule. Rick get 15 minutes. Everybody else get 5.
but it also boils down to whatever works for you and yours.
Yeah,
That's
right,
what it
right,
boils down to.
mine sits in the car for about 40 minutes before she come in the house.
Listen,
So,
hold on. Don't talk about the sitting in the car.
I'm in the car.
She caught me. She caught me sitting in the car watching a movie. Oh, that's what we doing. I just want to finish this movie.
See,
I just want to
promise
finish
you.
this movie. I just want to finish
that's
the
how I'm
movie.
gonna get my 15 minutes.
Listen,
I'm gonna go sit in the grass in the back of the house, and that's I'm gonna get my 15
Hey,
minutes.
I should need to say
Ground, baby. Go ahead and ground.
listen,
Go ahead and get your grounding in, babe.
this reminds me of like the other day. He's at work, and so the kids are home because camp was closed, right? So like when the
Oh,
camp was
yeah.
closed, my whole world got turned upside down again.
Come on
I
now.
was like, wait a minute, breakfast. I gotta do lunch. I gotta fix now. Mommy, what we do? When he came home And they kept asking me. I said, "Okay, it's your turn now."
Soon,
But
I ain't even been home 5 minutes, y'all. I
Listen,
ain't been home 5 minutes, and our little cousin was here. I don't know what was said, but she was like, "Oh, it's your turn now," and meant every minute because she disappeared. Every minute
listen,
of it.
because y'all,
with the quickness.
but that's where it is.
Yes.
Even though, like, I can still be home all day with the kids, it's still like one of them things. Like, I'm tagging you in right now
Man,
because
that's
I
a tag
can't.
team.
It's
Wow, my
right.
turn.
But
My turn.
but ask me if he got up and started responding to what they saying. No, I still had to get up.
No, no, she only got up to take my niece outside. She could have walked outside. Her mom was right out the door waiting for her. I wasn't getting up to walk her outside. Her mom was right outside.
Ooh, Teresa
But then I
said
had to get up anyway to take the bike outside.
Teresa said that's good too, T, that her car is her prayer closet. Like
Yes.
where at, like
Yeah.
you set up your area to deflect, so you have your downtime somewhere. But like, when honey, everything okay? Yeah, I'm just like doing whatever you need to do because we understand like how many times have we watched our parents come home and just all of a sudden because their day was already heavy and we coming straight at them on full blast, and now all of a sudden they blowing up at us because we didn't allow that time. So it's really important to have those conversations with the kids.
Yeah,
Be like, just
yep.
give me 5 minutes.
And then
After
so they can
that,
understand it.
you can have all of me. Just give me 5 minutes. Or in Rick's case, 15 minutes. Like whatever, whatever you need, because I think that's going to be so important for them,
Yeah.
especially because at work they can't go ask their boss questions every 5 minutes or every time. They got to figure it out for themselves. Or let me process
Wish
this.
mine
How
was
do
some
I
sort of
work
thing.
through all of that? Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. But it's so important.
35 minutes, I swear.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
When the children are in the room with you all, both of y'all in the room, who do they call the most? Whose name?
I don't know. I guess
I
it
think it
depends on what it is.
depends.
It really
Really?
depends on what it is. Cause like I was just sitting down here earlier and I was just watching TV. Ariana come downstairs and I could tell she wanted something, but she wasn't willing to ask. So I'm like, "What you need, Ariana? Can you take me to Mima's house?" That's my mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
And my first question is always, "Did you ask your mother?"
Mm-hmm.
That's my first question. Is did you ask your mother? What did she say? That's my first question every time. I don't care what it is. It could be Nick could be like, "Daddy, can I have some cereal?" Did you ask your mother first, bro?
Why you
I
don't
don't know.
making me
I
seem
don't
like I'm
know.
the bad
No,
guy?
it's not. It's not even that. It's
Rick
not
is
even that.
invisible.
It's
Rick
not.
is
It's not even
invisible.
that. It's remember we had this conversation about. I forgot what it was. It's not letting your kids play. I guess devil
The devil's.
advocate.
I
Yeah.
get that because
So,
we've seen some
because, like I said, if they come down here and they had already asked you and said, and you told them no, right? But then they come downstairs and I ain't asked, say, "Hey, what your mom say?" And then I tell them yes. Now we at each other because
That's
I
true.
didn't just simply say, "Did you ask your mom first?" And that's why I say it go hand in hand with it. Did,
That's good.
did you ask your dad?
Mm.
It's not. It's not that I'm trying to make you be the bad guy because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna say no. Trina might say yes. I'm like, nah, I don't feel like taking you. I don't feel like doing this. You know what I mean? So, but I always it's just something that I do because I don't want us to have to go at odds because of a simple question that I ain't say. Man, you asked your mother, or you already did, and they told them no, and then I'm like, yeah, nah, you could go, or vice versa, So
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
but yes, I guess it all depends on what the situation is, and then if we both sitting in the room and what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what just came to mind when we were just talking about all the differences in how we interact, with our children and spouses and just in our day to day. And that's why it was so important for us to do the self-carecation because it's more than a date night. It's more than just self-care spa style. Okay.
Mhm.
It's a whole lot more to it. And that's the whole thing. We realize that everything that we do is self-care. just like Tiff was saying earlier, whether we're dealing financially with something, that's self-care. Whether we're dealing with emotional or mental things, spiritual things, physical things, a lot of it is self-care because we're doing it together. And that's why coming together in the self-carecation that's what you're going to learn. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to experience. It's not just, a spa, massage, treatment, all those types of things. But that's what you think about when you hear self-care, but it's still understanding the other parts of your life that you're doing self-care. Because I know for Tiff and I, we do a lot of work in understanding ourselves, but also understanding each other.
Yeah.
So that we can limit those times where we need 5 minutes or 15 minutes.
And not meaning to jump in, but literally.
Well, you did, but go ahead.
Leave my friend alone.
We learn. See, we got
to have a spoon and hold it up when somebody.
No. We got I don't know where our spoon is
I
at.
got a ruler.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's self-care. We learn to do things that work for us and allow us. Because I'll be honest with you, earlier on, Tiff would cut me off and tell my story. She was famous for it. And I'm like,
your version was jaded though.
No, see what I'm talking about? But y'all notice she haven't done that. Well, she just did it this time, but she didn't go as deep. So we're good. So that's the whole part of learning and understanding each other, that it becomes self-care in a way that you really don't look at it in that way. But it's like, everybody always says when you're on a plane, and if it's getting ready to, go down or something's getting ready to happen, you got to grab your mask first before you can help somebody else.
But I'm gonna need the air bag. You're not gonna take care of me first, babe.
Nah, that's breaking the rules.
Right.
You don't get my man kicked out the plane.
Exactly.
They said put your mask on first and then
Yeah, baby.
Right. What if it's one mask left? What if my mask isn't working? What you gonna do?
If your mask is not working, I'm gonna give you mine.
Oh, see, you better. Cause I'm saying, damn, you picked the wrong seat. You picked the damn.
Yeah.
But I'm calling Jigglypuff on this one. So y'all have mentioned staycation. So tell those that may not necessarily that didn't join us last week, but want to know more about what this self-carecation is. How can they register, or how can they find out more information? Because it's important. We're gonna be there. So
oh man, I already told my people we speaking too. So I hope they come. Hey, I'm gonna be there. I don't care if they're gonna be there, but I'm gonna be there.
Yes.
So we are so excited about it because self-caring as couples is so amazing when it's done properly. Like I love how holistically it is, and it is definitely different than like your regular date nights, and you just like normally on a date night y'all are you go to the movies, you do a concert and all of the things where normally there are other people around you doing those and during that time and all of the things, and you all really aren't like really, for lack of a better word, just kind of gelling on a more deeper level. And and we are creating spaces where couples can do that. Like on that Friday, it's an all-day spa day. It's just really going to be you and your boo loving up on each other, and having these holistic experiences together. So y'all just don't like that doesn't happen at a marriage retreat, like having an all-day spa day anywhere. And then Saturday we have 3 dynamic couples speaking and pouring and giving wisdom and knowledge, and we have an amazing person coming where each couple is making custom rings from start to finish, and then having a recommitment ceremony, and just really like it is so action packed. It's a lot to do. And then at night, for the evening session, we are having a connection and empowerment session, and I'm really, really excited about that because it's just going to be
if you
wrapped around so much fun. So how people can register and sign up, they can go on teamchilds.org. It's at the top of our page. Team Child's Merit self-care-cation, and you can just click on it and it takes you right there, and all of the information is spelled out. What you're getting, it is going to be in Springfield, Virginia at the Embassy Suite by Hilton. It's a newly renovated hotel. Customer service is everything. It's just a beautiful place, and I would just say come on out and have an amazing time. That's how you can sign up. We are doing other things throughout the time. We are having another couples virtual game night coming up on the 31st. That's a Saturday. So you definitely want to follow us on our social media channels so that you know when these things are happening. Our YouTube page, our Instagram page is The Real Team Childs, and the Facebook name is Team Childs. So that's how you find us and join our mailing list, and so you can stay in the know, even for those that are not on social media. We would not want you all to miss out. We did have our virtual game night last Friday. It was amazing, to the point where they are asking for us to do another one really, really soon. So mark your dates for August 31st. Did I say September?
No,
August 31st. Yeah, August 31st. It'll probably be around 6 or 7 o'clock. We haven't solidified the time yet, but Eastern Standard Time, because we know this platform is global. So so we don't know where you all are logging in from. And we just wanted to add that.
And I just want to add one more thing. If you don't come for nothing else but to get these jazzy mugs here, I know the vendor personally. You need to get them. So just show up for that.
So, and I want to reinforce though, because you didn't mention it this time. So that you have 2 packages, one that includes the spa day.
Yes.
But then for those couples that say, listen, we don't have, can't get the kids, babysitter, all of those other things, but I want to do something for you with you and your spouse, at least come to the Saturday portion of it, because that's a day. You don't have to stay overnight if you don't want to, or make it a fun event, whatever you do. Listen, we are already studying. You'll make time for the things that you want. Make the time for your spouse.
Yes.
Come join. But if you can't do both nights, both days, just at least come to Saturday where the different enrichment activities are taking place, and sow into your marriage, sow into your partner, sow into yourself.
Yeah. And there are payment plans as well for those needing it as well, and that is found on the checkout page, and you can go ahead and make installments. It's installments of 4. It breaks it up into 4 payments.
It's actually more than that, because when I was on there checking hours out, it gave me options past.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I got the 2 every 2 weeks, and then I think it was a 6-month option and a year option. So y'all really,
yes,
really don't have a reason why you're not there, other than maybe there's activities going on. But come on out, y'all. It's going to be an amazing time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So we would love to have you all.
Oh, most definitely. And we're all about fun and fellowship. That's it. If you know anything about Team Childs, that's how we roll. And we keep laughing. We like I said, we just enjoy just getting together.
We have a good time.
Good time.
Yes, I can snap that. Every time we've gotten together, it's been a blast. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one for sure.
Well, we thank y'all, Teen Charles, for joining us for an Unscripted Beautiful Life. It was an amazing time. We are back next week.
Yes, we are.
Don't know time. We'll
Unless something come up, but
yeah.
we're hoping that it don't.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
school time. So listen, prayerfully we'll be back, right?
Uh,
Oh dang, Monday?
Thank-
No, Monday school start.
Not this Monday coming up.
Yes, sir.
I'm just looking because then my kids can't start up, y'all. Just
uh,
So
thank
y'all
y'all, of
have
course.
a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us on Unscripted Beautiful Life. We love